T minus 1 minute. T minus 50 seconds. T minus 40 seconds. T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Maybe you should pull the fucking trigger.
Pull the trigger. Ain't nobody gonna do for you.
We're cranking up the lights now, so everyone can see. It's all happening right now. We're gonna make you believe. It's about to get crazy. It's about to go down. It's about to get crazy. It's about to get...
Now that's how you supposed to shoot. From now on, that's how you shoot. Whoa!
Welcome to Sunday Recap. I'm your host, JB, in beautiful sunny South Florida, and we have
got Daniel Flores with you, your spirits concierge.
And Chris Cerezo, aka the Magician. Boom, baby.
You switched it up. Hold on.
Wait. Did he just switch it up on us?
I almost
Hold on. Nah.
For real, bro.
You know what? There's plenty of more episodes coming, so we'll practice that later, bro.
Chris be coming with some stuff, man.
Yeah, man.
Hey, bro. Listen, but you gotta switch it up every now and then.
You have to switch it up. That's what it is, bro. So we can't just practice and preach and all that good stuff. We have to switch it up. Okay, Chris.
No practice.
Okay. So how you guys doing, man? How was your week?
All right. Good.
Man, busy week as always, man. There's tons of stuff going on. I mean, we're moving, guys. Got tons of big things coming.
Big things coming.
Is there?
Yeah, like our sponsors, right? So let's go ahead and get them up on the screen, baby. So we have Espinosa Cigars,
Drew Estate Cigars,
Guayaba Cigars,
DNC Custom Apparel,
Cigar Oasis,
and Sean Christian.
Boom, baby. That's how we do it. Yeah,
this guy wants to copy the boom now.
Hey, listen. Hold on. Time out. I want to copy the. Who invented the boom to begin with?
You don't want to.
Okay. Yeah, we should go there.
Yeah.
Who invented it? So you can say it.
Our guest did.
Our guest did. You're right.
Hey, that was a good answer. There you go.
Yeah, you know what? Bob is the boom. So we have Leslie checking in. Look at that. Beautiful. Her photos up and everything. That's what I'm talking about.
Hey, Leslie.
I'm assuming this is Juan because only Juan says let the games begin. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, man. So, dude, let's go ahead and you know what? I have no idea how we're gonna start this. Have you ever been nervous to interview somebody?
Yes.
Who?
Oh man,
this
Many
guy.
people.
The guy coming right now.
The guy coming right now. So, dude, I'm literally sitting here like, Jesus, it's going down.
Jesus, man.
Chris was
Real.
just talking about like 30 seconds
Yeah.
before the show
Yeah.
started.
He's like 30 seconds, 20 seconds. Oh my
Man,
goodness. Oh
man,
my.
I'm just nervous, bro.
All right.
I was over here sweating and stuff too.
Yeah,
I was
look
getting
at
ready.
you.
I was like, the questions ain't on me this time, though.
No, it's not. It's actually
I'm
on him.
okay.
So I'm gonna tell you guys, the person we're gonna be interviewing today is a world phenom when it comes to cigars. We're gonna get into how he got his history started and everything like that. And we're going to talk to him about his journey within this realm that we all love. And as a, this is definitely a passion. I mean, I take it as a passion, right?
Of course.
Career, several other things. What do you guys
I love enjoy what I do.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
there we
So
go.
we're all here together, right?
Yeah, man. It's a blessing. It's a blessing. So
Always.
you know what? Listen, only iconic people get commercials played on our show. So we're gonna start with one very special commercial and then we'll bring them in. See?
Wow.
Yeah, bro. Dude, I'm telling you, look at that, bro.
Yo,
Man.
how
But-
iconic do you have to be to get your own bar, man? Like
Made by Drew Estate
Drew
with
Estate
your
has
logo
that.
on it.
Oh,
Custom.
dude.
Yo, but that's
Listen.
why
Listen, I think I'm leaving, bro.
hey, one of these days, I
Because-
no longer want to be
because,
like
dude,
JB.
that-
I want to be
dude.
like Bob.
I want to be like
I want
Bob.
to be like Bob.
I want to be like Bob.
Nah.
Without further ado, let's bring on the world famous Bob, the Cigar Guy.
Wow, but you gotta bring out that like, oh, Bob the cigar guy. No, man, you gotta bring out Bob the cigar guy. Boom, baby.
Hey, he's
Like
earned
that,
it.
you
He's
see?
earned it. He's earned it.
I think he's hungry, bro. I think
Y'all done set me up for failure. Y'all done hyped me up so good. I tell you what, boy, everybody's going. I don't know what they were drinking, but they drank too much of it. I'll tell you what. By the way, before I get started, y'all make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. That's right.
This guy,
Bob, what'd you say?
Iconic Smokers. You got to like, comment, and subscribe.
Caught in the crossfire. It's caught in the crossfire.
And that's why he's iconic, Chris. He just stole your line. Yeah.
Hey, but listen, wait. You know what?
What?
But this man can do whatever he wants.
He can.
Of
All
course.
right, so-
He's a phenom. That's a phenom.
It's okay, man. He can do whatever he wants.
So since Bob is already lit up, go ahead and tell us what you're smoking, Bob.
I'm smoking since I met one of the most iconic people I've ever met, Mr. Jerome Berry, at the Savage Feast this year for Drew Estate. I thought with being iconic in the iconosphere of iconic people, I had to smoke that Savage Feast League of 10. And I think I'm going to chase it down with just a little bit of Jefferson's Ocean. I pulled the good stuff out, dusted it off. We're going to have a good time tonight. That's for sure.
Okay.
To play, Bob.
So yeah, we definitely see that. So you know what, bro? I came to play too. So being the fact that I knew that I was gonna be one lucky bastard, I'm smoking a lucky bastard by Coyaba Cigars.
That's
right?
baby.
And then and if you're gonna be a bastard, might as well be a lucky one, right?
Yes, sir.
So we made it times 3. So everybody got a lucky bastard. It's like
Yes,
Oprah,
sir.
bro. You get a bastard. You get a bastard. So what are we drinking, Daniel?
Man, so of course, Bob's on the show. We got to go iconic, man. I mean,
Yeah.
we're all iconic here, so we might as well do the legendary award-winning Tell 'em Mardu.
Wait, we're gonna do what?
The legendary 2018 award-winning Tell 'em Mardu.
Wow.
Get the fuck out of here. Hey.
All right, let's do it. So Bob, how'd you get into the cigar industry?
Well, to be honest, I never expected to do this. I will be the first one to admit that I am the biggest waste of time on YouTube. The best part about me is the people I know, like you fellas right there. But we were fighting the FDA in 2016 in DC with a group called Save the Leaf. I volunteered to help out and just stack chairs and everything else. One night after the first event was over, I'm sitting around with cigar manufacturers just drinking in all the awesomeness. And they offered me a cigar. And I started talking about what I tasted. And a friend of mine, which I just met at the event, named Al Peter, he offered me. He said, "I'm going to send you a Opus X Lost City." And I said, "Don't do that. That's the biggest waste of time. I'm a $5-10 stick guy." And he goes, "I'm going to send you a cigar. I want you to do a YouTube, Facebook review." And I said, "All right." So a week later, he sent me 5 cigars. The second week, somebody else sent me 5 more. And by the 5th week, somebody else sent me 10 more. And we've been doing it ever since. That's the whole story.
Wow, brother.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Whole story right there. So, I mean, that's when you say you got into cigars. But before cigars, I mean, there's a whole story before that, right? I mean, you were into cars, BMWs. You were doing so much at the ministry at the church. Like, can you talk about that? Can you let us know?
Dude, you got your history down. That's crazy. Go ahead, boy. I had a hot rod custom shop, and I was building hot rods and doing mechanic work, doing motorcycle work, building race cars and stuff like that. Ended up wrapping up that the recession hit, and we just weren't strong enough to hang out, so we shut down. Then, with the help of a wonderful wife, the First Lady, my Sarah, I found Jesus. Honest to God, I don't know why he was looking for me, but he found me, and I ended up dedicating my life to ministry. So we were in youth ministry for 10 years. Then after that, we ended up moving up here, and I've smoked cigars on and off during that whole time. I found that I have 2 kids, my Gracie, Caitlin, she'll turn 30 this year. My son, Steven, Chief, that gorgeous guy in that picture, that commercial we did, he's 33. And so I would sit out on my front porch and smoke cigars, and they would come out and hang out. And then we got into conversations and talked about life. And so I just kept smoking cigars and hanging out with my kids.
Nice,
I'm a pretty simple country fella. There's not much to me.
Wow.
So going a little deeper into that question I just asked, as far as you dealing with cars, motorcycles, and stuff like that, what do you currently drive, and what's your dream car, man?
I currently drive a piece of junk, Kia Spectra 2012 edition. That thing is a pig and a half. Now, I got my wife in a nice Toyota Tundra, 2020 Tundra. And if I was going to get back into something that I really wanted to be, it would be either a 78 Camaro, or it would be a big Dodge truck, maybe a 2500 or something like that.
Nice, man.
Nice.
Boy, very nice.
Bro, definition of go big or go home, right?
Yeah.
Going big.
Well, Jerome, you got like 6 or 7 cars in your garage, don't you?
No.
You got the Ferrari, the Bugatti.
Yeah, they're all stolen.
Yeah. that would not be the truth, but we'll go with that line. All right. So man, let me tell you, Bob, you were a military man, and you had served for your country. Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service.
Yes, sir.
So can you tell us a little bit about that?
I went in right out of high school. Decided I wanted to do the hardest job I could do in the Marine Corps, and I was able to, within a year and a half, make it into Force Recon out of Okinawa, Japan. And so we got to go out and stop nasty people from doing nasty things so that good people could live a good life.
Amen.
A lot of craziness. So
Nice, man. So, I mean, you're in the Army. My father was actually in the Army too, so I was a little bit of an Army brat when I was growing up. Don't quite actually remember all the places I visited, Germany, Australia. I mean, I've been around, man, but I don't remember. What about you? What places?
Wait. Did you say you've been around?
That's what she said. That's what she said. That's what she said.
Hey. I'm gonna leave it at that. No more. But yeah, man, what places have you visited? What stood out to you most, and why have you settled where you're at now?
well, now when I was in the Marines, not that I'm bagging on Army, but when I was in the Marines, I started off in Parris Island, South Carolina. Went to North Carolina for my training. Then I moved out to Okinawa. That's where we were stationed. From Okinawa, I went to all sorts of countries, but basically it was for work. So they didn't really tell us what countries we were in, and some stuff.
Yeah.
It's not conversational, I guess. I hate to say.
Yeah. Hey, what country was this?
Yeah, that's Jay Bates, right? That's Road Dogg right there. I love that picture. That was where was that? Was that Connecticut or Pennsylvania?
How am I supposed to remember it?
He's like, wait.
He sent it to me.
Where was the Dust Bowl in the parking lot?
I can't remember where I was yesterday. You're gonna ask me where the Dust Bowl was. In one of those parking lot in one of those states. It maybe was it Kentucky?
No, was it the Connecticut or Pennsylvania?
Connecticut?
I don't know.
No, it was Pennsylvania. It was Pennsylvania. Yeah. So, but Bob, you're quite the picture taker, man. I've seen some iconic photos of you, like this one here.
Oof, boy, look at
right? That. There's this one here, right? And then apparently some guy was stalking you.
That was my ride or die. He was with me everywhere I went. I had to call him and say, "Hey, we're going somewhere. I'm on my way." And we rode together everywhere.
Hey, man. Hey, you know, Bob, I do have a question for you. I know you say you're the biggest waste of time on YouTube, but some of your content on your channel, all right? I mean, it's kind of inspirational sometimes, you know, and half the things you
sometimes,
say
all the time,
does make sense. You know, what's like? You. I mean, what inspiration do you get to do something like that?
Well, luckily, and I'm really fortunate that Steve Saka has sponsored a series that comes on every Sunday, and he says do whatever you want to do, and he actually spoken about it and says he appreciates that we do positive and encouraging things. I was such a bad guy for so long. I was not the best dad. I was not the best husband for the first 10 years of my life. I was in gangs when I was in high school, and then I was a mess when I was in the Marine Corps. And when I turned my life around, I wanted to give back. And it dawns on me that in today's society wants everybody to need something. They're not good enough without whatever society wants them to have. And so I just want to quiet that noise for just a minute to let people know the truth, that they're valuable, that they have a purpose, and when they are who they truly are, there's nobody better in the whole wide world. The world needs them. So I want to be an encourager. In our channel, we don't bash anybody. We don't slam on anybody. We don't do any of that garbage. There's so many people trying to get clickbaits and hits and views just based on the negative. And so we just want to be positive. I want to go to bed at night knowing that I made a difference in somebody's life. And we've had people comment and send us letters saying that, you know, at their worst times, they just happened to click on. There was a guy, not getting deep in this, but there was a guy that messaged me 2-3 years ago. And he said, you know, he was thinking about going home and ending his life. And on his phone, message clicked up that there was a YouTube video. And he decided he was going to watch that, and then he was going to be done with life. And he watched that, and he heard me tell him that he was valuable. And because of that, he decided not to make that decision. That's not my value. That's not because of me. That's just me telling the truth. And the truth is that you're worth it, and it's not worth quitting. So
yeah, bro. Thank you for that. Number one, because you saved the life.
Thank you. Yeah.
You know, and you have this amazing energy about you, man. Every morning when I roll with you, and then we'd go to McDonald's and we'd stop at the drive-thru, and then you buy those burritos, and then we'd roll out to the farm, and then it was like 3, 2, 1. Good morning, bro. It was contagious, man. So I really appreciate you during the entire trip of the Barn Smoker, because if I don't have, like, you know, these guys keep me on a short leash. So if I don't have a leash, I'm like, ding, 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 ooh, squirrel. Ooh. So appreciate you for that. We have a lot of comments as usual. So hopefully we get to go through all of them. But here's one. This guy says, Hector Alfonso Sr. says he loves knuckle sandwiches too.
Fantastic cigar.
So let's look into that a little bit. We'll be right back. Now that's
Oh,
how you
man.
do it, bro.
Boom, baby.
That requires a boom
That's
right
crazy.
Boom, baby.
That's crazy.
I just want to know, where can I get a pair of those Nikes at, though, man? Did
Oh,
you see
dude.
those knuckle sandwich Nikes?
Yeah,
Oh,
Oh,
man,
my goodness.
dude, I'm wearing sandals, so don't ask me. But Bob, we have a statement here, very inspirational. One candle will never be brighter by blowing someone else's out. Abundant blessings to you, sir. So,
Absolutely true.
yeah. So you know, straight Bob is straight. What's that comment said?
Fire.
So, man, okay. So not only do you smoke, right? Not only do you do your Sunday show, you're married, you're a father, you're a grandfather, and then on top of that, you work your regular job, right? If you
Yeah.
want to talk about it, and on top of that, it looks like you forge iron now.
I do. I just got a forge just recently, and I'm having a good time bending metal. I mean, I've always had a handle. I can't build what Jerome's Oasis is in the backyard, but you know, I can do all right knocking some nails and screws together and some boards, and I can run a lathe and a welder. And now I'm starting to do some blacksmithing stuff just for fun. My day job, if you want to call it that, I just switched from night shift to day shift. Is I work at the biggest automotive manufacturer in South Carolina, which is BMW. And so I'm what you call a reworker. I don't work on the line. When the cars aren't perfect, they bring them to me, and I basically mechanic the cars until they're to the quality our customers want. So,
That's
fun
beautiful.
job.
Now,
Wow.
I would like for you to give a friend of mine, I'm not going to mention his name, some inspiration because, you know, I tell him if you go work for somebody else, let's say 40 hours a week, you should be working for yourself at least 20, right? Because working for somebody else will never get you to where you want to be in life, right? So you have to invest at least half the time into yourself that you invest in a company. What do you think about that?
I think that's a fair statement. If it's something that you see that you can love and enjoy, because let's face it, when we go to work, we spend over half our lives working. We spend more time with the people we're with at work than we do with our people at home. So there needs to be that balance. I mean, we need to grind, we need to get things going, but we need to figure out, we need to sit down with a plan and figure out how we can pour into ourselves so that we can get the dreams that we want to have. Because if your dream is just to live in a mobile home on an acre of land, you never want to travel, you never want to have anything, work your 40 hours and be dead. But if you want to live better, if you want more to life, if you want to have those experiences and those dreams and have legacies to pass on, then you've got to grind and put in sweat equity and figure out how it's going to work for you and make you better.
Absolutely.
Wow. Amen to that.
So I have a two-part question for you, Bob, and it's taking it back a little bit for you, man. Because I know, like, everything that you've been doing and everything, like, as far as inspiration, you're a man of God, you love your kids, your wife. Like, what inspires you? What keeps you going? And, like, I don't know, like, as far as, like, I didn't think you were a bourbon guy, to be honest with you, man, because I know you don't like old fashions and stuff like that. So when you brought out the Jefferson Ocean, it kind of shocked me a bit. But you tried a plethora of cigars, so I see you like bourbon. What's your go-to cigars and your bourbon as well?
As far as go-to cigars, it really depends on the day. I'll do infused. If I'm doing infused, it would be like a Pappy Van Winkle. It would be a acid plush. If I'm going to a heavier cigar, I probably smoke more Savage Feast this year than anybody else has in the whole wide world. I mean,
He
they
has
had
the
tons of them at the table, and I was tearing them up every day, all day long. I don't do many lighter cigars. The knuckle sandwich really hit me really, really good. The Habano was my jam. Things from Foundation, the El Owense. I just had a Senator. That is one of the best cigars I've ever had. The Dumbarton Tobacco and Trust Sober Mesa is fantastic. The Brule Blue is really great. Their Stillwell Star series is awesome as well. But there's very few cigars that I would turn down. because I just like smoking cigars, and I've been blessed. If I didn't have the channel and the sponsorships, I'd be smoking the $5 cigars, once a week because I can't afford more than that. So,
Right.
good question. And as far as drinks, I like ryes. I like bullet rye a
Hmm.
lot. Woodford rye is really good. The Jefferson's Ocean is really good. Um, let me see what I got. Eagles Rare over there. I've got some Horse Soldier from
Okay.
Corona. Some Screwball. The peanut butter whiskey.
Nice.
I like that too. So
Nice, bro. Nice. So like JB was saying, man, how you like the way you connect with your viewers, the followers, the way you just talk, man, on the show. So I was watching, and I've always put a lot of stuff on like background while I'm doing dishes or I'm active, I'm studying. I have something on like I'm listening to. I was listening to a few of your podcasts, man, as far as like your top cigars that you recently did and stuff. But something actually really stood out to me, man, where I had to sit down and actually engage to your conversation, like I was actually there with you. And I think you want to tell a little bit about this because it's something close to you. It's a dead squirrel in the ER.
oh my gosh. You went back.
You got it. You got it. You got
Holy
it.
smokes. Yeah, that's a story right there. Now, do you want the 5-minute story? Or do you want a 10-minute story?
Hey, man,
Bro,
it's your
hey,
story.
listen, we're here for you.
It's your
We want the
story.
10-minute story. And then you know what? I'm gonna tell you. Every story. If Bob says give him 5 minutes, it means give him 10, right?
Oh,
So
okay.
listen. So this is what I do, right? You see what Bob's doing right here? You got to put Bob to the nose, and you got to take it all in because it's a lot. It's a lot, but you got to put it to the nose. So before we get started with the story, I'm going to take a commercial break, and then I'm gonna let him go
dive
at
in.
it. Go at it.
Please.
Introducing Blackened Cigars M81 by Drew Estate, a dark, bold, and unapologetic cigar collaboration.
My job is all about taste. So when James mentioned he wanted to create an exclusive cigar, I was stoked.
Like Metallica, Drew Estate has some of the most hardcore fans out there. I've known Rob Dietrich for years, and when he approached me to collaborate on this, we couldn't be more excited. I mean, Metallica, Black and Whiskey, and Drew Estate, what could be a better passion project?
We all came up with the vision of what a blackened M81 cigar would look and taste like. M81, Metallica, formed in 1981, as you can see right here, just so I don't forget. And now you won't forget because it's on this.
We needed to craft a cigar unlike anything in our portfolio.
One that would take cigar fans on the deepest, darkest, heaviest journey into the mystical world of Maduro.
Full-bodied with notes of espresso, leather, and dark chocolate. A wrapper, a binder, a filler that is all Maduro, and they are all grown in separate places.
You talk about a heavy leaf cigar. This is beyond passion. This shit is straight amplification.
Blackened Cigar M81 by Drew Estate is bold, rich, and powerful enough to satisfy the most experienced cigar connoisseur, but also balanced that new cigar lovers can enjoy its tantalizing smoking experience as well.
Blackened Cigars M81 by Drew Estate. Coming soon.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back with Bob the Cigar Guy, and we're going to into his history as we reminisce with Bob.
That's awesome.
Floor's all yours, Bob.
That's awesome. So the story came out, like I said, on Sundays we do, sponsored by Dunbar Tobacco and Trust, we do what's called Story Time with Bobby and Squatchy, and then we transitioned into have you got 5 minutes? And like Jerome says, my 5 minutes is 10 minutes. And so I do motivational little tidbits to help us go through life, but I also tell my stories. Most of my stories are cautionary tales, things you shouldn't do, and I have tons and tons and tons of them, sadly. But this story is pretty good. This was done, God knows. Okay. Was it
2018?
I'm trying to remember when the story happened. My daughter was probably 6 or 7. We were living in Brevard, North Carolina, and I was a youth pastor at a church there called Calvary Baptist, and we lived in a parsonage, which is the pastor's house. And this church, their parsonage was so close, my son could open up his bedroom window and touch the church. That's how close we were. It was crazy. And in the back of it, they used to have a nursery. Kids would come and they'd have daycare. that had a big, nice playground in the back. Well, they didn't have it anymore. And so my daughter and my son got run of the playground, really great playground right out back of the house. Well, one day my daughter's outside in the back playing, and my Gracie, and she's playing, and she comes in and she's got a towel and she's bleeding and she's crying. And so my daughter is my children are warriors. They're aggressive. They get cuts and scrapes and bruises pretty good. But this was a little different. And so I grabbed her hand. Oh, Chief is there. I grabbed her hand and we washed it off, and it wouldn't stop bleeding a little bit. And it was an interesting cut. And so I asked her, I said, "What's going on?" And she was basically like, you're gonna get mad at me. And I said, "No, just tell me what's going on." She goes, "Well, there was a squirrel in the back where the playground was, and it was just sitting there. And I'd go up next to it, and it would run into the wall, and then it would shake itself off, and it would look at me, and then it would run into the wall. And the squirrel kept running into the wall. And the first thing I was thinking of, that squirrel's got rabies, because that's not what squirrels usually do." And so she said, so I wanted to take care of the squirrel. So I went in the house and got a big bath towel, which is the one that was all bloody. She said, I threw it on the squirrel, and I was gonna take care of the squirrel. She goes, "Well, I had the squirrel in the towel, and the squirrel started wriggling and jumping around. I thought I'd squeezed it too tight. So I let it go a little bit, and it came out and it bit me on my finger." Now, like I said, my daughter's a warrior. So what does my daughter do? She slams the squirrel on the ground, and she takes the towel. And she probably said some things too. She was a little aggressive back then. She came in the house with a towel and crying. Well, I was afraid it was rabies, and I said, "Baby girl, where was the squirrel at?" So we went out there, and the squirrel was still there, and the squirrel was looking kind of crazy, and it kept running into the wall. And I said, "Well, we have to take this squirrel into the hospital and get it tested for rabies." And so I grabbed there was a shovel handle, a broom handle or something right around there. And I walked up to the squirrel, and in all honest to God, I walked up to the squirrel and I said, "Mr. Squirrel, I'm sorry, but you bet my daughter you have to die." And I took the broom handle, and I just tapped him on the head. I'm telling you, I just tapped him on the head, and he just stone cold dead. And I said, "All right." And I went and got a Walmart bag, because everybody's got Walmart bags. I went and got a Walmart bag, and I grabbed the squirrel through the Walmart bag, tied it up, and off to the emergency room we went. Now, Brevard, North Carolina is a very small town, and so the hospital is one floor and very, very small. I mean, it's a country hospital. We walked in there, and I said, "My daughter got bit by a squirrel, and we need to have it looked at. I think she may have rabies." And the nurse just kind of looked at me at the desk, and she said, "Go ahead and sit down, and we'll come back and get you." Well, my wife is sitting there. 5 minutes goes by, and she goes, "Do something." And when my wife says, "Do something," I'm going to do something. So I got up and walked to the desk with the bag in my hand, and I said to the lady, I said, "Hey, I really need to get my daughter into them to see him. I'm afraid she has rabies." And she goes, "Sir, I told you to sit down and wait. We'll be with you in just a minute." And I said, "Okay." And I picked up the squirrel bag, the Walmart bag, and I dropped it on her desk, on her paper book. And I said, "I don't know what you want to do with this squirrel, so I'll just leave it right here. If you want to get into a hospital fast, into the ER, carry a dead squirrel in a Walmart bag." It took less than 30 seconds for us to all of a sudden open up a room for us to be in. And so that lady wasn't having no rabies squirrel on her table. And so we went back there, and people kept sticking their head in and peeking at us. And a little while later, the doctor comes in, and he goes, "Hey, I hear somebody got bit by a squirrel." And I said, "Yes, sir." And he said, "Well, let me look at your finger and this and that." And the guy said, "Is that the squirrel?" And I said, "Yes." And he goes, "Okay." And he takes it out and he hands it to somebody. He says, "We have to have it tested." And I said, "Okay." And so we're sitting there, and he's doctoring up Caitlin, and then my Gracie, and then the doctor, somebody comes in, talks to the doctor, and the doctor says, "Well, sir, we have a problem." He goes, we have to examine the brains for rabies. And you hit him on the head and squashed all his brains. And I looked down and said, "I didn't hit him that dang hard."
Wait.
What?
Tap.
What?
A little tap.
Wow.
The soft tap.
Wow.
Or
wait, Bob. Wait. Let me rewind a little bit. Bob said he hit the squirrel on the head with the broom, right?
Right.
I've seen Bob hit stuff before, and it wasn't a tap. But go ahead, Bob. Go ahead.
You wasn't there. I just tapped that squirrel. But anyway, the doctor said we can't test them, so your daughter might have rabies, and rabies is fatal. There's no cure for it if we don't deal with it now. But she has to get shots. And just to let you know, no squirrel has ever given anybody rabies, but they can carry rabies, and they can. Your daughter could get rabies from the squirrel bite. And so I looked at my daughter, and I said, Caitlin, this is what they're saying. What do you want to do? And she looked up at me, my little baby girl. She looked at me and she goes, Daddy, I don't want to die. And so I looked at her and I said, done. I said, Doc, we need to give her the shots. He goes, they're going to be $10,000. I said, are you denying me medical access? And he goes, no, sir. I said, well, let's get the shots. And so she had to go through lots of shots. And the first thing she said coming home from the doctor's office was, so can I mess with rabies animals now and not catch rabies? And I'm like, go to your room. So, but that's the squirrel story.
Wow.
5 minutes. 5 minutes it was.
Hey, listen.
For sure. Wow.
Yeah, man.
Full round of applause, right? So we have a
funny.
special correspondent, right, who is in California. She has a question for you, so I'm going to put it up on the screen so you can see it. Can you read it, or you want me to read it for you?
What happens when you come up? What inspires you to come up with your topics? Like truth is truth. You ain't special. To be honest, some of it is things that have just been bothering me. Some of it is things that I deal with personally. That was actually one of those little YouTube short videos. This guy was preaching a sermon talking about, you can be a specialist, and he twisted it a different way. And I actually looked at it and I said, I can see how this could be a positive impact. And so I just kind of drummed it up that way, and it just ran in that direction. So I get inspiration from all sorts of things. I've told some of the experiences I had with Jerome, I've actually used and just not used Jerome's name. We
don't want to put that out there. We don't want nobody knowing about that stuff
and all that. So
let me ask you a question, right? So we had me and you and your son had an extraordinary experience throughout last year, right? Because we came out the gate running, we hit COVID. I met you, and then after that, I was like, bro, you need to travel to every one of these things. I was like, you have to go or whatever, right? So then you got an opportunity to go to every single one, right? So tell me,
we did.
What did you enjoy about the Barn Smoker overall?
There were so many things, but the thing I come away with was just getting together with a bunch of guys that were doing the work. So there were some people that were paid from Drew Estate, but a lot of the people were just volunteers, and their passion and their drive. Like in Florida, we were supposed to have 30 people show up to help clean up. We were supposed to have all sorts of people there. Nobody showed up. And so we had to just hike up our boots and just get to work. And it was really, I enjoy the work. I enjoy the hustle and the grind, where the people that paid for the tickets to go to the event never knew there was a problem, even though there was problems all over the place. Everything was going around, and Jerome was running wide open when he wasn't messing with his camera, and he was getting things done, and everybody was just grinding. It was I enjoyed the camaraderie. I enjoyed the moment.
Yeah, man. But you know what? I truly enjoyed is that from sun up, basically, well, we were out before the sun was up, but from sun up to sundown, right? Because we spend the whole day. We go there, we do the walkthrough for both areas, then we come back, then we set up prior to everybody showing up. Then after that, we turn into a well-oiled machine. Everybody takes their stations. If we're missing a person, then we pick up that area and we pick up the slack and we help. All thanks to Drew Estate, and the way they captain the ship, because it's their ship. You know what I mean? But but it gave us an opportunity to really see how great companies work. You know what I mean? And I've had the opportunity to work with several great companies. So have you. Obviously, if you're working with Steve Saka, I got a great Steve Saka story. It was me, Steve Saka, and O.J. Simpson, but that's for another day. And it was in Vegas. And it was in Vegas.
Okay.
But that's for another day. But dude, I really have to say that every single time, whether I was extremely tired, ready to go to bed, everything like that, you put out something. You said something like it would be a one-off message that he just thought off the side of his head, and then boop, put it in the atmosphere, and I was like, battery in my back, I'm ready to go. So it was crazy, right? Then Bob did one thing for me that I'll never forget, which I actually have a hat hanging. I got murals for my hats. You guys know that, right? Yeah. So you see that. You see that hat that Bob's wearing?
Mm-hmm.
See that little design that he put on the front there?
Yeah.
That is very special. That is a Bob special. Now, he can tell you about that, but, I just wanted to segue into that real quick.
Okay.
Well, it was an honor when Jerome said, when you bend my hat like that. I mean, I did it when I was really young in playing baseball. Everybody in Florida, because I grew up in Gainesville, Central Florida, and everybody would curl their hat. And it would just be round, and I just want to be different. So I bent it so that the sun wouldn't get in my eyes. Even though I was not the grand baseball player, they put me way, way, way left field. And I was kicking rocks and chasing butterflies. That I wasn't a great baseball player at that time. But I felt like I was part of the team. And then we started doing Bob the Cigar Guy, and I thought I needed a hook. And so my hook was that I would bend my hat the way I used to bend my hat. It's just been that way ever since. And the fact that somebody as iconic as Jerome would say, hey, I want to have my hat bent like yours, was just an honor to be able to do that. And I got to do that for some other people at the events too, which is pretty cool.
So he has a portfolio of bent hats. So I'm gonna try. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to get into that same format. Hopefully, look at that.
Oh man, wow. Look at that.
And I thought I was the only one. I thought I was the only one. Right?
Bro, I got 2 rows of those hats up there.
Wow. So, and well organized too. Woo.
I rocked it. Well, I'm in a small shop. I'm not in a big cavernous place like y'all are in. I'm in a small studio, so
we're in a very small studio. This is a green screen.
Yeah. No.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's no bottles back there, man.
Look, hold on.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
It's a green screen.
Dude, I thought that was your bar.
No, it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Well, dang. We got a little bar. I was sitting there wishing I had a bar as big as yours, but I guess mine's bigger than yours is. Size matters.
There's an error.
You see, look. He's not even there. That's video. That's all video.
Yo, so Bob, you say you're not a baseball player then after all, but
hey, come on, bro. You got to give us some, bro. That deserves a round of applause or something, bro. Bro, that's like a I like turtles moment, right? Like, come on.
I like turtles.
You never heard I like turtles?
Yes, I have.
You sure?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Have you said it before?
No.
You just did.
Okay.
I like turtles.
Did he not say it?
Yes,
Okay,
I
all
did
right.
say it.
But it's a green screen, Bob. We actually we pre-record everything and we make it look good, for people to think we've made it, but we're still working, we're still grinding.
No, you're still grinding, but I've seen pictures of your oasis in the backyard. So no, I ain't buying.
You know that's not a green screen. That might be a green screen too, Bob. I'm just saying.
No, and showing off your son's entertaining area and then your office with all the lights and all that stuff. I mean,
bro, it's getting smoky here. Grab a candle.
But when you run with the Kardashians like you do, Jerome, and you're on Guy Fieri's boat.
Yeah, Thank you for saying that. Because if I would say something like that, he'll burn me.
Yeah. Him and Vanilla Ice on first name basis. He doesn't even call
I know.
him Ice. He calls him Rob. So, yeah. Got everybody in Opus on speed dial. He says, "Look," he says, "Watch this." And he called them up and he FaceTimed them and they answered. He goes, "Well, I'm in a big meeting, but I'll talk to you, Jerome." I mean, Jerome's a guy.
He is the man.
You know.
Okay, so
That's all he thinks.
that big meeting story, I actually FaceTime Bob with you guys. Remember when he answered?
Nah.
You don't remember?
No.
Oh, dude, you were starstruck that bad?
Yeah, must have. hey, man, it happens, bro. I heard a rumor that some kids were getting balled out from half court shots. Can you tell me this, Bob? Is this true? You still got that shot? Half court shots? You shooting the kids out?
Man.
Oh, I got it.
He's not a baseball player,
but that's all I got. that's all I got.
That's all you really need.
That's all I got. So, because I can't run, there ain't no running in these legs. So,
nah, we just play half court. You stay at the half court, bro. We'll do the rest.
Did I
shoot it to me and I'll throw it in?
Just get a candle out the green screen. Yeah. I mean, no, the candle was there. The candle was just sitting there. It just happened to be right in front of the green screen, so it looked like he got it off the green screen.
Good eye, though,
I mean,
Leslie.
but good eye, Leslie. Yeah. Good eye. We appreciate it.
We actually have
a
table up in front of you.
Yeah. You know, bro, we're gonna have to get DJ Khaled on here, right? So next time when Daniel goes to grab something, congratulations, you played yourself. So, Bob, you now have you didn't now just have, but you have Christmas ornaments. Oh. You have the Bob the Cigar Guy shirt. You have swag. So, how can these people take a look at your swag?
Wow, we have been pushing swag for a while. We push Christmas ornaments. That's on our website, ChevetteReport.com, which is run by Chief. He does. I got a plug for Chief. He does photography like you wouldn't believe. We call him Chief because he was the editor in chief. I couldn't edit anything, and so he had to edit our first videos. He edits our super hype up videos, and then I do our regular videos because he's got 3 kids and he's got to deal with being a dad. But he does all of our Instagram posts. He has a Instagram handle at Chief in the Leaf, which is a great. He does great photography. I mean, he's amazing in his photography and all that. And Jerome actually helped him out with a couple hints on how to do things with camera. It was really, that's how we first met. Is Jerome just said, "Hey, let me show you all some stuff." And so when I saw that, and I saw that he could take off a moment from his, I mean, he had an official Drew Estate event staff shirt on, right? I mean, he
can
was
we go back
as
to
legit
Chief,
as they come.
Chief, can we give a round of applause for Bob's son?
Yeah,
Bob is raising generational cigar smokers, right? So but you know what? His son is one amazing dude. I truly enjoy not only Bob's time, but I enjoy his son's time. Hopefully his son will honor us by coming on the show. That's the reason I didn't have him on the show today, because usually they come together like 2 peas in a pod, but I wanted to separate them because bro, there's so much. You know what? So, you know, throughout the year, maybe we'll bring on Chief, and then after that we'll bring them together, because if you see that dynamic duo, the snapback, bro, it's
a hot mess.
Yeah. Hey, listen, it's not as bad as this, bro.
As bad as the pre-show.
Yeah.
He has a Thursday Night Live he does every Thursday called Chief Talk, and since the studio is at my house, I come up here and there's not much he can do about it, so he lets me sit in on some of his shows that he edits, and we have a good time doing all sorts of crazy stuff. One of the things we're going to do soon is a lot of scientists say that most of your taste comes from your smell. If you can't smell the food, you can't taste the food, because you have so many flavor scent receptors in your nose, and you only have 5 or 6 in your tongue. And so what we decided was to do a test to see if that made a difference. So we're going to figure out how to stop us from smelling while we're smoking a cigar. We'll smoke a cigar a little while, and then we'll stop ourselves from smelling. And the only way I could think of doing that is I went and got one of these professional nose waxing kits. And so we're going to do a live on Chief Talk where we're going to actually wax our noses and just leave those things stuck in there for a while.
I think Chris wants to go in on that one, man.
Yeah, no.
Chris,
that's not for me.
That one.
Yeah.
I think y'all should do it. Y'all should do it on the show. I bet people would love it.
No, no, no. The
Oh,
last thing
yeah.
we did on the show was a hot chip challenge, and that didn't go well.
Yeah, not at all.
yeah. So that was one of those moments, bro. I tell you. It was
Now we've
horrible.
done some hot challenges live. We've done the Death Nut Challenge. We've done the hot chip. We've done
How was the Death Nut? How was it? Because
it's bad.
Is it
It's
worse
bad.
than the chip? Is it? Okay, so we're gonna put the chip here, and then you put everything you've done under and over. You give us the under and over.
The chip was one of the easiest ones.
Oh,
The
Jesus Christ. Bro, I feel bad now.
Satan's toe was a lollipop. That thing was 1,000,000 Scoville units. That was a nightmare. We did the bubble gum, where each piece of bubble gum was 500,000 Scoville units, and I think we each did, by the time it was over, 20 of those. The Death Nut Challenge was real bad. We actually did Carolina Reapers. Honest to God, ate the whole pepper.
With seeds. Wow.
With seeds. We ate the whole dang thing. We ended up eating 4 of them. I ate 4 and Stephen ate 3. It was bad. So, but people like to see you suffer. I mean, nobody watches NASCAR for the winner of the race. They watch for the wrecks. And so,
No, I watch for the left turns. He's making a left turn. That's what I watch for. It's great. So, Bob, who inspires you?
a lot of people inspire me. My wife does. She has the most patience of anybody I've ever seen. My son does with his creativity. My daughter does with her tenacity. Jerome, I picked up on your grind. I mean, you grind all the time. I can't believe you put out so many great things. I've actually got sitting on my desk the challenge coin ashtray that you gave me.
I've never seen that
here.
before.
You know, it's amazing that you're doing so much and you're this and that. So, you know, I don't want to grind as hard as you do, but I want to grind a little bit more than I do now. I get inspiration from regular people too, people who come from hard times and they make something out of themselves. They don't let that be an excuse for not being a success. People who care and love and give back. Those are the people that I aspire to be like. I fail, but I try really hard.
Well, Bob, I failed my ways to success, and that's my story. You know what I mean? And then my statement, my motto, basically, it's on my Facebook. It's been there forever. Success without integrity is failure, and that's
Absolutely.
just the truth. So one of the reasons that I truly brought you on the show is because I know, and I've had the opportunity to see who you are. And I've been blessed to have encountered you in my lifetime because you know what? If something were to happen to me today, knock on wood, I know that I've lived my life and I've lived it to the fullest because of the people around me. I'm blessed to have friends like Daniel. I'm blessed to have friends like Chris. I'm blessed to have friends like Juan, even though he's not here. He's here in spirit. And then the green screen Juan passed by, you know, but there's a lot of people. Eric Espinosa, Senior, Junior, Hector, dude, Jack.
Man, your list goes
You know,
on and on. Man.
so it's dude. When you watch, you know, yeah, but when you watch people in this world and they move either left, right, up, down, but they move, right? It doesn't matter if they move 2 steps back, they move 3 steps forward, or 1 step forward. It's just the fact that they moved. It inspires, you know, and the growth that I get from that. You know, the growth that I get from you guys. You know, Bob says I'm the hardest working man in Hollywood, but guess what? If it wasn't for you guys really doing all the work and me playing background music, you know, Tito, it wouldn't happen. You know, so I appreciate you guys, man. I mean, and you guys definitely deserve a round of applause. So does Bob, because you know that positive energy goes far. You know. And
in the cigar industry, though, I got to give shout outs to people like Jack Heyer, who is so humble. I mean, he started off literally, he saw Cigar Dojo doing stuff and he just wanted to hang out. And he ended up working his way into that inner circle. And from that, he ended up doing everything he's doing at Drew Estate and moving on to bigger and better things. His humility, his ability to be humble and kind is amazing. Willie Herrera. He puts family first. I mean, if anybody could say, I got to work, I got to do this and that, I've got to run my brand. he didn't come to a couple barn smokers because his son was doing combines for football. I mean, he puts his family in front of everything before anything, and he's very humble in what he does. Steve Saka, he's got more knowledge and experience than anybody I've ever met. But if you sit down and talk with him, he just wants to talk. He don't want to sell us cigars. He just wants to have a conversation with people. It's amazing the amount of cigar personalities in this world that are just down to earth, humble people. At least that's my perspective.
No, and you're absolutely right, man. And Jack is one of those guys who definitely deserves everything that's coming to him, because I'm telling you, Jack is a sophisticated guy, you know, and he makes sure that he carries himself well, as you can see in this picture here, you know. So I really do appreciate Jack, and I wish him all the success. And Jack is having an opportunity to move around and you know, explore this industry, like, you know, we all hope to someday. So it's definitely an honor. So with your son and the Chevetta report, right? How did that get started, and why you guys have made so many little micro branches that are turning into giant trees now? You know, how do you guys do that?
Steven's been wanting to do a website for a while. She's been wanting to do a website for a while, and I've just been dragging my feet because if I don't want to ever do anything and have to stop doing it because we just didn't prepare for it. But when YouTube did everything it did with all the cigar people, just threatening to ban people and get rid of people, and we got demonetized, and we lost all our monetization through donations and stuff through YouTube. We decided that we need to have a second place to go to, that if all of a sudden YouTube says you're done, we had somewhere to go. And so we started up Chevetta Report. And that has been, I mean, I have my finger on everything. I have, you know, a guiding and directing ability, but he has run that thing from scratch, and he gets press releases from almost everybody. He puts out great content. He does great articles, and it's just, I love Chevetta Report. I go watch Chevetta Report a lot. We have a Discord, and he runs Discord. I don't have anything to do with the Discord because that's just one more thing I have to work with my phone, and I'm not that technical.
Yeah, I tried the Discord thing, and yeah, man, that thing moves way too fast for me. I think I'm a little too old school, right? So, but you know, I think I'm on the same page with you right there, Bob. But Bob, I want to ask Daniel a question.
Oh, what's good?
Daniel, there was an instant where me and you got to go to Vegas together, right? And there was a very specific picture taken, right? I want to ask what happened there. This is a story right here, man. You gotta tell me about this, brother. You gotta tell me about that,
man. All right. I mean, that's you want the Bob 5-minute story, or you want the five?
I don't know where Bob went, but yeah, give me the Bob.
So of course, it was the first time in Vegas alone, just to start out. First time in Vegas, PCA, and PCA is cigars, of course, one of the biggest cigar events, and it was my first time there. You were just definitely walking me through. I mean, you didn't really have time. Every corner you hit, you were, hello, how you doing? Hello, how you doing? I mean, you had paparazzi following you, and you were the camera guy. I mean, I don't know. But anyways,
Truth.
So.
Bob, I think we lost your video, but I'm not sure what happened there, but we can hear you. So, but go ahead.
While Bob's working on that. Yeah. So Guy Fieri, he came out with the knuckle sandwich cigar. Of course, my man over here, photographer, took all the amazing pictures you see out there right now. So I had the opportunity to actually cut a ton of people to get in the front line to meet this guy. Not only he's one of my favorite guys. Watched with my father growing up, watching like Gordon Ramsay, all these different cooking shows. I love cooking myself. I started in the restaurant industry when I was younger, but just to be in that vicinity with those guys, man, I got starstruck. I got starstruck to the point where I couldn't even talk.
Wow. Yeah, you were stuttering, and we had to play the exit music and tell you to go stage left.
I never got starstruck before, and I don't know what happened just in that moment, because it meant so much to me. Because I loved the Guy Fieri, but also my boy, Mikey Workman, he's an amazing chef, man. He watches Guy Fieri all the time. Drum was actually kind enough to get him a bobblehead and a signed hat as well. So I wanted to share that with Guy, with everything that he does in the community as well. And man,
share you did. That thing took 15 hours.
Yeah,
the way you're just standing there. You're just standing there looking all crazy and stuff, bro. So
that's the story, man. That's a short little 5-minute story of what happened. Yeah.
So Bob, you still there? We can't see you.
I'm here. I look better in the dark. This is a good reset for me.
So you know what we'll do is we'll go to a commercial break real quick, and hold on before we do. The person who made all of that happen, we have to give credit where credit's due. Is this man right here, right?
Yes, sir.
Eric Espinosa Sr. That is hands down one of the best persons that I've met in this industry, and he does an amazing job. Him and his son has grown the company from the bottom, from you know how people say from seed to ash. That's what they did. So we'll go to a commercial break. We'll be right back, and hopefully we can get Bob back on the screen, because I mean I do like to see Bob at night, but not like this.
Oh, Bob, where you at, man?
I can see y'all. I can see me on the screen.
Okay.
So
maybe it's on our end.
I don't know.
Well, Bob, while you're working on that, do you have anything you want to add? Anything you want to just tell the viewers? Or, I mean, is there any big things coming out besides the Christmas ornaments and the T-shirts and the hats?
We've got a huge giveaway going ahead coming up, probably in May. We're probably going to give away between 200 and 250 prizes. Drew Estate has been so generous to send us all the leftover stuff they had for barn smokers. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a grand giveaway with all that stuff. We're going to have cigars. We're going to have swag. We're going to have stuff that you probably couldn't get from the barn smokers. Some of the neat stuff, some of the ashtrays and stuff like that. So that's going up.
Very nice.
And you've done that once before for your audience. I believe it was last year.
We did. We've done something like that twice. When COVID hit and they shut the plant down, we decided to do what we call the Smoke Economy Stimulus Package, where every day for 36 days, I think it was, we gave away about $200 worth of stuff to the people that were watching live. And then when we hit 5,000 subscribers on YouTube, we did the 5K giveaway where we wanted to surpass that. We did 225 plus giveaways. Each one was valued at least $100 a piece. And we're hoping that this one we're gonna do even bigger. We're excited about it. So
yeah,
nice.
That's huge, man.
I'm excited about that.
Is there any motivational quotes or anything that you want to leave us with? Anything inspirational that you want to tell the people? I know you're big on that, Bob.
I am, and I'm glad you gave me the opportunity because I want to tell you. And it's kind of nice that I'm not on screen because I don't want to be distracting. Because the truth is, it's not for me. The truth is the facts, and the facts are that everybody watching and everybody even not watching is valuable. Before time began, they had purpose, and that purpose is perfect. They had everything they needed to be who they are, and every goal that they're supposed to set and supposed to achieve. They've got all the tools and the abilities. Society's going to tell you that you're not valuable. Society's going to tell you that you're not thin enough or strong enough or rich enough or fast enough or whatever. That's a lie. You've got everything you need to be the person that you're supposed to be. And the person that you're supposed to be, when you choose to be your true self, can't be any better. The world needs you, and it needs you to stay around as long as possible. And if ain't nobody told you that they loved you today, know that I do. And that is the honest to God truth. So that's what I would say in all honesty.
Man, cheers to that.
Man.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, that's definitely a goosebump moment, man.
It is.
Well said. Well said. So, Bob, thank you so much for coming on the show. Um, and we definitely appreciate you. We definitely appreciate who you are, everything that you've done for this industry, and everything that you will continue to do because we know that you can only get better. And we will pray for you tonight, tomorrow, and every day after until we
I
expire.
appreciate it.
And I truly am blessed to have met you, your wife, your son, and your family as a whole is a blessing to have in this lifetime. So
Well, it
thank
was it was a privilege. It was a privilege to be with you, Chris, Daniel, and Jerome. Y'all are family now, and until you file a restraining order, that's the way it's going to be. I am honored and humbled that you allow me to be on your show and just to share my humble story. I greatly appreciate it, and I hope that y'all have awesome, phenomenal success. When Chief comes on, your numbers are going to go through the roof because that guy is amazing. I tell you what. That's the truth.
Well, you got to get him to get back at me and give me a date. You two. When I call Bob, right? Quick little story. I call Bob and I'm like, "Hey, Bob, we have this little show called The Iconic Smoker, and we'd be honored and blessed to have you on, and it'd be a privilege just to talk to you for a minute since I haven't seen you in a while. And I have dates from every date on the calendar available just for you." and then he says, "I'll get back to you." And then it took a couple years, and then he told me he goes, "Hey, listen, I'll give you this date and this time. If you're ready, we'll make it happen." So then I waited till that time came, and then we made it the second episode because the first one's, obviously we got to welcome ourselves back.
Yeah.
But we made Bob the first guest on the show, and for that, Bob, you get a interview coin, which is going to look like this in the care package that we're going to send out to you. We usually give guests challenge coins, but the thing is that you're going to receive a whole care package from us because we truly appreciate you. And then if we can throw in some extra stuff so that way you can put in your giveaway, we'll gladly do it because we know that you make this world go round. And
you're awesome, buddy.
So
amen.
Thank you so much, Bob. And then we'll put you in the green screen and we'll close out the show and then and then we'll go from there.
All right,
Sounds
man.
good.
Bob. Pleasure, man.
All right, it's always a pleasure.
Trader.
Well, guys, you finally got to meet the legendary Bob, Cigar Guy.
Yes, sir.
And then if you didn't believe that was him, he had a whole shirt that said Bob the Cigar Guy to make sure.
Yeah, I doubted that for a minute.
No, because I know you would have doubted me saying that I finally was able to get Bob the Cigar Guy on the show. But you saw the shirt, right? You saw it?
I saw it.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure it was official, right? And then after that, what I'm going to do.
What really gave it away was just the cap.
It was.
Oh, yeah.
It was because I did talk.
Signature.
I talked about that a lot.
I mean, you can't get a crease like that.
During commercial break, you had Chris over here trying to bend his head already, man.
Yeah, I was trying,
Yeah. Look, it's rounded.
It's rounded.
Yeah. So
yeah, not too much, bro.
He don't work it too much, but you know what? Thank you guys for tuning in. We truly appreciate you. It's always a blessing, an honor to be able to be in your presence because without you guys, we wouldn't be able to do this, and without your assistance, we wouldn't be able to grow. So as we continue to move on, we will definitely pray for all of you guys because, like Bob said, everybody in this world matters. Everybody in this world is valuable. So you hear that, Chris?
Yes.
Everybody.
That means you too, bro.
Yeah, that means you too. Just want to make that clear.
Oh, me too?
Yeah. All right. So
only because Bob said so.
No, Bob. Listen. No, Chris. You know what I'm gonna say? It's because you're iconic. And with that, I just want to say peace.
I'm a man on a mission. I'm a man on a mission. I don't need no permission. I'm a man on a mission. I ain't waiting and wishing. Oh, I got that ambition.
me.